What's going on, gamers? DBMgamer here. Happy Bungie Day! It's 7/7 as I'm making this recording now, and today is Bungie Day. Bungie dropped a whole lot of info about some topics that I had laid out on this channel that I was hoping they were going to reveal, and yeah, Bungie came through and said pretty much everything that I thought they were going to say. But before we get into that, I got to get my shoutouts out of the way. I want to give shoutouts to Ungamiko, Les Tom 1, and Billy Sullivan. Then I've also got a special shout out to Ryan Tempura, who had actually pointed out, we were looking at this picture from an IGN video, notorious IGN video, that people were just picking apart, getting all these details out of. And he happened to notice when we were figuring out the level cap, and he pointed out that something that I had actually missed on the pic was the beta build watermark is missing from this particular picture. So this is actually from the full game, we think. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about how long the beta is going to run. That was one of the big topics I wanted to know. I was curious about. I had been tearing apart Bungie's site trying to figure out what it was going to be. Turns out the short of it, it's only 10 days. There was a leak on a Japanese gaming site, and I had actually reported about the leak saying that it was only 10 days, and I had hoped that it was going to be longer. Turns out it was actually correct. 10 days is what we're going to get from the 17th to the 27th. So what it is really is actually 8 days. The 21st and the 22nd, they're going to shut the servers down, and then on the 23rd, they're going to bring them back up. And when they bring them back on the 23rd, that's when Xboxers get their shot at this. Xbox One and Xbox 360 will be able to go live on the 23rd, and then the beta, like I said, will run to the 27th. So that's really only giving the Xbox people 4 days to play this. Now, it's not all bad. On the 26th, and we kind of saw this with the alpha, on the 26th, they're going to drop some extra goodies in the game, and I think what they're going to do is increase the availability of some of the rare items, so you can kind of see stuff ahead of when you're supposed to be able to see them in the full game. So I think it's going to be pretty cool to experience. But as I was saying, it's only really 4 days for Xbox fans, and a lot of them are pretty mad about this. And I mean, I can't blame them, really. I mean, if somebody told me I was only given 4 days to play, one of the top shooters of the season, even in the summer, I mean, yeah, 4 days to be able to play something early is nice. But 4 days when you're told that someone else is really getting 10 days, which is actually, like I said, is only really 8, it's enough to really get butthurt over. And I'm not gonna lie, I would make me mad too. One of our own in my gaming clan, Double Insertion, everybody just calls him Double. A quote directly from the man was he saw it as an overt attack against a console fan base that actually supported Bungie and helped them grow. This guy actually bought all of the limited editions and all of the collector's editions, and he even bought the limited edition Xbox 360 that was for the Halo Reach, even though his original Xbox worked perfectly fine. So he's really passionate about it, and I can kind of get where he's coming from. It's like really what this is the business of gaming getting in the way of the fun of gaming. And I think everybody kind of feels the same way. It's like it really stinks when somebody gets something earlier than you can because of the platform that you choose to play on. I think personal experience for me, the most recently had to be Battlefield 4 and Second Assault. It's like the Xbox had Second Assault for months. It was pretty crazy. Little do we know when we actually got it, it was going to be a buggy hot mess, but that's beside the point. The fact that they held it for so long, it was just kind of like, I just wish I had gone over to the dark side and bought that console instead of what I've got currently. But like I said, it's just a business, and that's really all it is. And really, in the end, everybody's going to get access to the real good stuff, which is going to drop September 9th, and that's going to be the Destiny game. Now, the other big thing that they revealed today were the collector's editions. There's actually 3 collector's editions to pick from. So let's talk about the limited edition. This is actually the middle one that I want to talk about. Now, the limited edition one has an inscription when you first open the binder, and this is really freaking cool because it ties into the story. The inscription reads, "We are surrounded by darkness. We always have been. Perhaps that is why the Traveler chose us, for even in death cannot extinguish our light." I'm like, dude, that is badass. There's just no way around that. This little inscription ties into the Grimoire cards. It's been reported that if you dig through the Grimoire cards, it's actually, we think that it's the Traveler has actually came to the planet, and has awoken guardians to help defend the Earth. And I'm like, that's freaking sweet storytelling, if you ask me. Now the contents of the limited edition. Now here's where you're actually getting your value for it, because this is going to be a $99 sale if you decide to run to your local GameStop or Amazon to pick this up. The value in it is you get an expansion pass. The expansion pass is going to cover the first 2 DLCs that are going to come out for Destiny. You're talking $35 worth of value. So all in all, it's not too bad a deal. You're paying $99 and you're getting $85 worth of value. So you're spending about $15 in extra little story bits. But I've looked at all the little story bits and they're pretty cool looking. Extra little things that you're going to get digital wise, you'll get a ship skin for in game, which is it's okay. You get a special emblem in game, which is okay. But the physical stuff is really what's attractive to me, because it's coming with a steel bookcase, which is really polished. It looks very pretty. And then right beside that sits a really worn leather-bound journal. I'm like, that's just cool. That's just where Destiny's coming from, is they want the high tech with the low tech. There's also going to be an armament book, which has got all these little details inside the book of like handwritten guardians that are handwritten stuff as they've seen it on the world, and details about the weapons. It's also supposed to actually help it also tie into the story, the big overall arcing story that is Destiny. There's also going to be a star charts map. There's some little Golden Age photos, Golden Age postcards, and patches and stuff. The big boy is the Ghost Edition. This is the edition that I personally want. It comes with an actual ghost, a real freaking pick it up, play with it. It's got a motion sensor. Freaking Peter Dinklage's voice comes out of it. Dude, that is just freaking sweet. That's the only word for it. I'm like excited for this. I actually ran down to my local GameStop even before I watched a lot of video of this thing actually talking. I was just asking them like, hey, have you got it in yet? And they were like, well, they just dropped a UPC in the system for it, but they don't have it available just yet. But I probably will be going down tomorrow to switch my pre-order copy from the regular edition to probably the Ghost Edition. Now the last version that they have is the digital edition. Now this is not going to come with any of the extra little accoutrements because it's all digital, and basically it's just going to be the game with the first 2 DLCs packed in, and it's probably the best value to go with. But me personally, I kind of like getting my hands on stuff, so I'm going to go with the physical version and probably the big boy, the Ghost Edition. Well, if you like this type of video, guys, just feel free to drop me a like or a sub or just a comment. But as always, have a good one.
If anyone's out there, please help us clear out the enemy for our exploration. Encryption follows.